Thanks, guys. Sorry about that again. I know that KP said she's been having trouble with Zoom. We did 5 tests on this, and all of a sudden our volume was just decided to kick out. That was very, very odd, but we're going to be able to move forward with that. We have chat up now. If you guys have any problems, we are going to have a recording on this. And what we're going to make is ourselves available for some of you guys if you need to do some side talks, because I know there's a lot of things. We might be able to help with a little more technical stuff on the side. This is kind of our jam. So we're excited to be helping people. I see that the numbers are going back up, but we're glad you guys are here.
Thanks for helping us through this. It's not really our, we usually do live events, so this is a little bit different for us. And then with the added layer of technology slowing down with the entire world getting on right now. But one thing that we want to let you guys know is obviously we're human just as you are, and we're in the trenches running 2 businesses from home now with our families. Even though we are a homeschool family and we are an entrepreneur family, we're still making adjustments as well. So just wanted to let you guys know we're right here with you.
All right,
and
guys.
If you need anything, we miss seeing you in person. We were hoping to see you in 2 weeks live, and this is as good as it gets right now. So if you need us personally, absolutely reach out. I know Gabe has our number. We'll make sure to share emails and resources so that you guys can get in touch with us if you need anything more than this webinar. Maybe we can do it again. So with that, we're going to move fast.
So guys, since our last meeting, obviously things have really changed. We weren't all working from home. All our kids are not being homeschooled. It's definitely a very different world temporarily where we're in, but we see a lot of opportunity in this. Again, a lot of you know that I lived through the front lines of 2008. I was in real estate in Florida and California very heavily, and we were super, it was tough. But I made it through, and there's some things that I definitely learned, different situation, but I know there's things that can help us all now. We've been working, as you can imagine, tons of phone calls with people. And we try to top line. We want you guys to have a real clear path to how to get from here to there. And I think that's what we're going to do today, and I promise that'll happen. So we're going to go through 3 things that I think are going to be a really good starting point of grounding. Again, a lot of you guys have heard me talk about, we live right across the street from the beach. When you live on a property on the beach, you got the pilings, right? So if the tide comes in, or if the tide comes out, the house stays firm. These are the pilings, I think, that have really helped Jamie and I convert to losing, our cleaner, our nanny. We're not able to have our live meetings, so we're running 2 businesses
remotely,
and having 4 kids at home.
Yeah, and even if you work from home or even if you homeschool, it's still very different now.
This is different because some of your support we want to
lose all your support people, or we have.
So. Yeah, so we all got to kind of bind together. There is a serious integration of home life and business that's never happened, and we're going to go over that.
It's an exciting opportunity.
It is. There's a great opportunity here, and I know as entrepreneurs, it's sometimes we're going to see that better, and sometimes if we're under pressure, we're not. Guys, I have friends in retail, in restaurant, and hospitality. It's really hurting right now, but being on the front lines of 08, I know they can get better. So let's get started on some 3 things. The first thing that we have to get back to is we all are hearing about this social distancing, right? Totally agree. It makes sense. What we have
in person.
Right? In person, yes, in person. So social distancing in person, totally get it. What we're encouraging, and this is going to overlap something we've already talked about, we're trying to figure out what is overwhelming people. And that is they are not doing any tech distancing. Now, you guys know our rule and our principle on this about we do tech fast, right? We love technology. That's how we're able to keep working with you guys. But you need times of complete and total unavailability for your business and for your family. This is very important because now everyone's been brought home. So there's 2 pieces to tech distancing that we've found, especially over the last 2 weeks. First thing, some of you have never worked from home before. So you are completely being inundated with a new environment. So you might be taking a very serious call and your 4-year-old comes up and kicks you in the shin, is trying to talk to you and be a 4-year-old, and they don't realize. And you're going to get short and you're going to say, how dare you? Do you not realize this is? And the answer is no, they don't. And you also don't want maybe some of your older kids like our teens. I've taken some pretty heavy calls this week to try to support some entrepreneur families going through some strife.
You have to be mindful of what everybody hears and sees. That's
exactly.
For sure.
So the first step of tech distancing is you guys need to have a space in the house or outside the house where you can go to take calls. So I do my call, my 9 a.m. huddle every morning. I go out to my SUV because 9 o'clock here in our house we've found is a really, really busy time with littles running and screaming. The boys are doing their online schooling with a check-in with a teacher at that time. I literally go out to my SUV and I sit there. And I'm also taking some pretty big calls. So from about 9 to 10, I'm sitting in my SUV. I moved my home office out years ago because I don't like to work from home. Now I am. So I have a space out in my SUV and a space in our house where I can get away from it all to do that. You don't want to try to be walking and pacing in front of your kids and picking up calls or texts.
What does this say? Chat. Just froze. Okay, so we're back.
Hey guys, sorry. This is
fun.
something. Sorry guys. So let's get back to tech distancing.
Okay, are we back?
You got it? So yeah, just caught from audio. We're back. Okay. Sorry guys. I don't know what's going on. We tested 5 times on this to make sure.
Keep rolling.
Tech distancing. First step of tech distancing. You guys have to be taking these calls, Skypes, Zooms in a separate area. If you try to do it where there's background commotion, you're going to get short with your kids. When people are going, why are you getting so overwhelmed with your children? Well, I'm trying to take this important call and they don't understand. They're not going to understand. You need to step away. And if you can't go anywhere, literally the other day, our landscapers, the only people still coming, were outside. The guy is weed whacking around my car when I'm on with a really important investor. I took a short drive around in my car to make sure that I was there, but I was away. And then another thing is, after I get off a big call, because Jamie and I, about a week and a half ago when this all first started, I came in off of really helping someone out of a heavy situation, and her and I got in an argument. And the issue was me. I had my dukes up. Remember, we've talked about this? My dukes were still up. I had been trying to defend my friend who was going through a really tough thing, and I was giving him counsel on how to renegotiate someone being unfair to him. But I came in and I got at Jamie, and she's like, what's your problem?
We were trying to set expectations. So what had happened was that morning we had a discussion about, okay, at 10 a.m., we're going to create a schedule, which we're going to go over soon. And I said, okay, at 10 a.m., I need myself and the rest of the children, because I'm a child, myself and the children need to know, expectations for our work schedule, for their work schedule. And so he walked in and was like, I got to do bubble X, Y, and Z. And I'm sitting there going, it's 10 o'clock. We had said that we were going to have this meeting to set a schedule so that we know what to expect. And so it was one of those things that it ended up escalating because I didn't know what to expect. He had things that he needed to do. And when it gets unclear, it just sets the stage for, negativity, I guess, if you're battling with what to expect versus what is actually happening.
Yeah. So, and if I had just taken a minute when I had gotten off of that call, take a few deep breaths, finished a text and an email that I had to do to follow up. Instead, I rushed right in. I'm like, man, I feel bad for them. I got to do a video to support these people and do this. And I completely lost myself. And then when Jamie asked something, I was like, well, do you not see that I'm doing stuff? You get short. I don't care how good you are, you get short. You are not that good. We've talked about that. Remember that example when I was on the trampoline with Maggie and I got that text where a real estate deal fell through? My mind went out the window and I was in front of her. I'm swearing under my breath. We don't want to do that. You have to have tech distancing. Obviously, you guys are going to need to lean on technology. We are. But I am being very, very mindful to step away. I mean, I'm working with people now that are having to lay off 80% of their staff and they're trying to stay good at home. And I'm saying, take those calls separately. So that's the first part of tech distancing. The second part of tech distancing is you got to have complete unavailability at work. Now, I know that's really hard to say right now for periods of time. But if you don't give yourself that rejuvenation every day, you will burn out. I'm working with some people on a daily basis where I'm saying, even if it's just an hour where you are just unavailable and you're there with your family, you're going to get some sort of rejuvenation, some sort of grounding. But if you constantly have your phone on, and again, this is not only for work, this is for updates. We all want to know how many cases of the coronavirus has in our county. You don't need the update every 7 minutes.
Don't go into your pantry and eat all the snacks. Don't get on your phone and consume all the information.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little space.
To be more personal, and I did this with a video to a group the other day, we don't need the news updates 7 times a day. Like in the evening, calm down, go have like some romance. I said romance is a lot better than than news a lot of the times. So, but it's very important to slow that down. You cannot completely inundate yourself with calls, texts, emails, Facebook threads, and news all the time. Have some distancing. I like to schedule, and you'll see it where I'm not allowing myself to get on to any of my email until 9 a.m. I'm just not. I need that time in the morning to get things going, and then certain times in the evening and the day, which will show. So step number 1, guys, if you don't want to burn out, if you don't want to lose patience at home quicker, we need that tech distancing. Work from family, family from work. Very, very, very important. Jamie's going to give you examples on that for scheduling, which is the next thing we go into. Our schedule right now, any way you look at it, completely different than it was 6 weeks ago. This is a new world. And what I've found is when I told you Jamie and I got in the argument, what Jamie was saying, hey, we really need to sit down and do a new schedule because we have a new way of running our businesses, new way of running our family. And what did I want to do? I wanted to keep choking on content and starving for execution.
Yeah, instead of, you have to know to re-steer the ship in the same way that you're re-steering the ship in business, we have to re-steer the ship at home. We have to know to change our calendar, to change our schedule, to change our rhythm. So there's some things that you can keep. Obviously, you know, we talk a lot about date night. Well, we've not been able to go out on a date night. But trying to take intentional moments to be together is important. Same thing with your family. You're not able to go out somewhere for a board meeting, but you could go, you know, maybe walk your dogs together or, you know, jump on the trampoline together, or try to find moments in which you can still be one-on-one. But going back to schedule, we built our schedule. There are 4 children ranging from 16 to 3, and then us 2 running 2 businesses. So we created 3 different schedules. One is for our little ones, which I'll talk about in a minute. One is for our big guys, and one is for us. Our daughters put some heart stickers on them. So what we did was we knew the things that were important that we hit. Here, I'll hold them up while I talk. So these are, oh, there we go. The things that were important to us to make sure that happened, and then to try to coordinate what we were doing with what our teens were doing and what our toddlers were doing. So for example, let's see if I can hold these both up and see them at the same time. You will notice that there are things, oh, this is great. So our boys have to make certain that by 10 a.m., all of their jobs are complete. So that means one's responsible for doing the floors, one's responsible for doing dishes, so on. They each have their jobs and their school check-in. That needs to be complete by 10 a.m. because come 10 a.m., 10 to 11, they're with the toddlers. Because if you look and see here, from 10 to 11, Jim and I are having our meeting. It's super important that we're able to meet on 18 Summers on both of our businesses together. And then to go along with that, ooh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to fit all 3 on here. So if you look at Maggie and Saint, our little ones, it aligns 10 to 11 brother time. So it's just taking all of our pieces and aligning them together. So again, I'll just highlight a couple of pieces because I know y'all can see these. You can screenshot them if you're interested. We can send them out. We have a group clean from 4 to 4:30. That is on everybody's schedule. Again, you know, there are things that we've added in so that we are weaving in time together and time apart. Twice a day, we are utilizing either audiobooks or a library show on the computer or a television show twice a day to be able to navigate a little bit of extra time without caretakers. So we're leaning on our older 2 to do an hour together with the toddlers. And then we're also leaning a little bit on electronics, twice 2 shows or audiobooks. From 4:30 to 5 each day. And this is something Jim will want to talk about. That's when we're allowing one of the kids shows. From 4:30 to 5, we do learning with the big guys. So we decided that while we have this extra time, why not take the advantage of reading a book together? So we do a deep dive, easy digest. Each day we get together and we talk for a few minutes about a book that we're all reading. Right now it's Deep Work, about how you need to spend a certain chunk of time to be able to really get into that creative mode. I know your arms are probably tired.
Well, no, not at all. But I think it's important, guys, to show this. I know Gabe and I have had lots of conversations on this, the importance of getting involved with our children's education. So the book we just finished was Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, unbelievable read. And he wrote it just after the 1929 Depression. Unbelievable lessons that we are drawing out and having conversations on now with the situation we're going through, the unknown, the simplicity of reading. We were doing 10 to 12 pages a week. Now we're trying to do about 10 pages a day. So we just finished this one. And then we went to deep work. And if any of you guys have ever read the book Deep Work, this is really, really good. Cal Newport. And what he talks about is it is impossible to really be an artist, to be at your absolute optimal if you're always having interruptions. So he goes pretty deep into the tech fasting and to the tech distancing that I talked about. And we're sharing these lessons with our boys. We're saying we can still be doing certain things and we want to keep learning. So that 4:30 to 5 is such a good time. It grounds me. It's teaching me lessons I need to do right now for our family and business. And it's teaching our children the practical affairs of life. This, what we're going through right now, this is the practical affairs of life that school doesn't prepare them for, but we can. We can do it right now while we're home with them.
Yeah. And so I'm going to just put these, I'm going to see if I can get them all up together. Oh, it's okay, because I think I have them. So just so you see again, that we just try to align everybody's, and I'm wondering if these are backwards. That's probably really, anyways, we can send out a screenshot. But if you see, we try to
We're
incorporate.
going to send out a screenshot of all those.
Try to incorporate
KP.
What I call a breath in and a breath out. So we have an active time and then we have a focus time. We have an active time and we have a focus time, because it's important to make sure that you don't burn out in one, area. So what you want to make sure is that you're having time to burn out all of your energy and then time to focus. And so that's really what the schedule is all about. There's a meeting, but then there's playtime. There's a focused writing, and then there's family playtime. And so we've designated 1 to 4 each day. So it's 3 hours. You might do more or less, to making sure that we all stop and just spend time together. So we can play, we can go for a bike ride in the neighborhood, we can jump on the trampoline, we can go walk on our beach, but we're mindful to take that time to do that. So just making sure that whatever schedule you build, that it accommodates, that you take into mind everybody in the home. So take all of your people and all of your pieces, and then figure out how you can align them. Okay, so your children only need 3 hours of schooling. How can they help in other areas? How can they stay entertained while you're doing what you need to do? So it's just a matter of making sure that schedule weaves in really nicely with everybody's needs and with that breath in and breath out.
Yeah, with that scheduling too, I think Jamie brought up an important point. If you've never homeschooled before, homeschooling, why we liked it is because we found it was more effective. What takes normal school 6 hours, you can do in 3. What normally takes 10 months, we would do in 7.
Well, and really the thing is that a lot of people aren't homeschooling. They're at home doing school. So there's a big difference.
Ryan's asking us to do a recap.
And I did.
Okay, so that's the recap. Ryan, so in case that you can see and hear it, okay, we already did the recap on that. Sorry, just trying to make sure we keep up with you guys. But again, I'm going to go back again, because this is where we're all being taught to take that breath, because we have a lot of things that we're facing right now. First thing is, if I can give a little space from technology when I'm having to be with the family, or from the family when I'm trying to do the business, that's important. The second thing, guys, learn from my mistakes. Take this time today, sit down, uninterrupted, with the phone off, and build a schedule that involves everyone in the family. That way, if you're having this coexisting schedule at home, again, I think it was Stephen Covey said that, the difference between someone prepares is not 2 to 1, it's like 5,000 to 1 in results. This has been absolutely key. You can see Jamie's fun little Waldorf Montessori artwork. It doesn't have to be a huge, complicated thing. It can be a general framework of schedule. But this has helped me focus on work, know when I'm supposed to be off. Like Jamie said, I really hustle. I'm a hustler in the morning. So what happens in those first 3-4 hours in the morning, I get it done. Then I'm taking a break in the afternoon, normally about 1 to 3, because I know I'm going to go back at it, and I want to be with my children. My kids need playmates. They want to be near me.
And you need rejuvenation.
And I need the rejuvenation. So that time is for me. So it's super important, guys. We don't need more content. We need more execution. Stop. Discuss with your kids, especially if they're older or even if they're little. Help them create the schedule. We did in a piece where, hey, here's what the parents are doing.
Oh, that's a great thing to say. So we did take everybody into account. So we showed everyone the schedule. We said, what is it that you need to hit? And honestly, as we've gone on in the days and as the time has elongated, we've noticed, so our space used to be 12 to 4 for family playtime. And just yesterday, we were noticing, wow, we're actually busier than we thought we were going to be. So we've had to shorten family playtime and implement other things into place. So just understand that even when you create a schedule, you still have to understand that you may have to recreate it. Just as in business, just as in anything else, you're navigating this new schooling at home and working at home.
Exactly. And I think with that schedule too, we're trying to be aware of there's three pieces. You need time with your work, you need time with yourself, you need time with your family. And we're trying to honor those things. Like I'm trying to make sure, because although I run more of the other business, and then Jamie and I do this together, I have to go into business more. She has to be home more. We both get burnt out. So we're trying to make sure each of us has space just to have something on our own. Like I've been going out surfing early every morning, trying to get Jamie where she has time to do yoga or some writing or things that she wants. But in that schedule, try to work in where you're going to have clear work time, clear, maybe some individual time just to rejuvenate, and then time with your family. Jamie and I, although we can't go on dates, we haven't put on the schedule. We talked about adding, even if we can just go for a walk around the neighborhood for 20 minutes, that's huge. It's huge for rejuvenation. So guys, sit down today, do this schedule. It makes a huge difference.
And if you need help, send us what you're thinking. And then I'm always happy to look at it. I've built rhythms and schedules for schools of various ages, and just being able to see that breath in and breath out. And along that same concept, I think that we talked before about high warmth and high expectation. So you have to, if you're asking a lot of your children, like, oh, I need to take this call, I need to do this, I need to do, and you're implementing, because we do need to rely on each other and then also our children more than we probably ever have. And we're learning skills in this time that are going to serve them far into the future, that are going to serve us far into the future. It's not something that we necessarily would have signed up for, but it's definitely extending grace and courtesy to one another, learning how to work as a team. Some of these things that your children are learning and watching you do are going to just reach far into the future, and they're actually going to remember these things and be able to implement these things. So remember, when you're building that calendar, it's okay to lean on your spouse a little more. It's okay to ask for a little extra grace. It's okay to extend a little extra grace. It's also okay to lean on your children. If they haven't been responsible for maybe housekeeping, it's okay to say, hey, we lost our cleaners because we want to keep safe. I need you to take out all the bathroom trashes and you to wipe down your counters, something like that, and build that into your schedule.
Yeah.
That way, and make certain that you're acknowledging, appreciating, and communicating. Because times like this, I even catch myself, it's moving so quickly that I forget to say, I know we're all going above and beyond. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think when you plan this schedule, when you sit down and do it, like with our older boys, we've been telling them what's going on. I mean, they watch some of the news with us. We're letting them know, hey, there's a lot of families that are turning to us right now. I have to take some more calls. There's also, we're keeping our real estate investment company going and want our employees. So involve them. Tell them about this.
Yeah, let them know without the scary parts, not like, the bad stuff, but just, hey, we're all banding together. Here's what I've seen happen. Yesterday we got groceries for grandma and grandpa and had to wipe them all down, put them in a separate bag and deliver them ourselves. So there's just certain things that they're seeing that is different.
Yeah. So good.
What's next?
So the schedule is key. The third thing that is more of a broader thing that's really helped. It's something I learned in 2008, and then something I think can be used right now. And we have to stop, pause, take a deep breath, and reframe this entire situation. Really think about that for a minute. We need to reframe this situation. And some of you are going, are you kidding me? I just had to let half my staff go and all that. I get it. I've been there. I know what this is like. But there is a reframing of the situation that if you will do this, I think you are going to be more energized. You're going to be more relaxed. You're going to be seeing more opportunities, and you're going to be more appreciative. One of the best ways that I've been able to do this, where everyone goes, man, we're stuck at home with our kids. They're going crazy. I'm going crazy. Business is unknown. All those things are facts, but we need to reframe. One of the best ways, guys, that I've been able to reframe some of the toughest moments in my business career and trying to make sure my family life comes along with me is by doing this simple mindset reframe of my 75-year-old self. Now, I don't think we've had time to take this, and I don't know if anyone on the call, maybe one or two of you have been to our retreats, but I talk about the 75-year-old self. I like to picture myself at 75. Hopefully I still have some hair. Hopefully I'm still surfing. Jamie still likes me, all these good things. Maybe, we're not sure. But what would my 75-year-old self say to me right now? What is the advice that they would give to me right now? I can't be sure, guys, but knowing myself pretty well, I think at 75, looking back at this right now, I'd be saying, oh man, look at the opportunity you have in front of you. You have been asking to slow down and spend more time with your family. through this. Business, you know how to work that out. Come on, you've been through tough times. There will be opportunities, you'll get through this. But your family, look, everyone's young, everyone's healthy. You're able to go on the trampoline. You're getting to see a teen grumpiness and then them start laughing 5 minutes later. Like, these are the little things. These are the good things. They won't always be here. Take it from me, your older 75-year-old self. There is so much opportunity for connection and understanding and laughter and enjoyment that you might not ever have again. With food, with water, with electricity still going, take advantage of this. We've been trying to do that very seriously with reframe, reframe, and reframe. And as soon as I'm not saying that those hard things are not happening or falling out, but we have committed as a family that we're going to reframe the situation. We are looking at the opportunities, the rare joy of being able to still walk across to our private beach and get out there before I have to get back into the trenches. It's just an incredible time. And I think to rejuvenate, to give that power, if you will just reframe this opportunity. And again, I don't even call it an issue anymore. I try to call it the opportunity, this new opportunity to be existing at home together, be working from home. There are new things coming. How can you do that? I believe, guys, if you will take these 3 steps, we need to do some tech distancing now. Guaranteed, this is the thing that is overwhelming you and you might not even realize it, because it's always playing. You have no separation, no deep work. You got to do tech distancing. If you get on a new schedule to fit the new times, that will be absolutely imperative. And then overall, step back, take a deep breath. What does this look like? How do I reframe the situation? What would your 75-year-old self be saying to you right now? What would he or she saying to you right now? Keep that in mind. And I believe if you will give yourself that space with this simple framework, is this going to get you all the way there? No, but I'm telling you, this will get you 70, 80% of the way there. That's going to give you such a springboard and such a grounding, like I talked about, that it's going to help propel you and give you momentum through this instead of continuing to feel a downward spiral. Would you agree, sweetie?
Absolutely. So I was just sending out to the group that we've got about 8 minutes left before that original time frame that we said that the webinar would be like 10 to 11 or maybe a little less than that. And so just with those 8 minutes left, I wanted to make certain that we recapped, that we hit some top shelf things, that we answered any questions if you happen to have any. So I just put in there, if anybody has any questions, I said we'll send this out to everyone. Yeah. We'll also send some supporting resources. Said,
make your 8-year-old self proud of your 80-year-old self. That's true.
So true.
That's a really good saying.
Make your 8-year-old self proud of your 80-year-old self. Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that I saw, just to encourage everyone, and maybe everyone else has seen this, that this might be a time in which we look back and go, wow, that was so tough. We had to let people go. There was uncertainties. But on the other side of that, our children are going to look back and say, wow, it was awesome. We had all this time at home and mom and dad were there and we ate dinner a lot. And so it's just really interesting that you have an opportunity to look at this as however you choose to frame it. Johnny said his wife is who said it. Johnny's wife, good one.
Johnny's wife credit. Yes, we're lucky to have our wives, that's for sure. And again, remember that lesson I talked about when my daughter Maggie kicked my son Sammy in the chest after watching Kung Fu Panda? I yelled at her, and I felt bad that I yelled at her, and I said, come here, Maggie, and I apologized. I said, Mags, I'm really sorry. I yelled. I shouldn't have done that. You scared me. And she said, Daddy, that's okay. We're all still learning. Yeah. Everyone's learning right now. Your teens, your toddlers, us. Give each other that. You should have known that I needed this advice. You should have known that I was getting overwhelmed.
It's that grace and courtesy.
Yeah, please try to do that. Remember, we're all still learning. None of us have dealt with this. Not our parents, not our grandparents. None of us have had this type of situation before. So remember, we're all still learning. Another question that has come up to me a lot is I went through 2008. I made it through. I protected my investors, but I took some serious hits. People said, we're going through that now. What can you say to us to give us some words of encouragement? First of all, this too shall pass. I got to the point in 2008, so you guys know, I was literally sitting at my desk, and I'm not a very religious person, but I have a really spiritual faith. And I would pray and say, if I can just get through the next 5 minutes, that'd be great. That was all it took, and it slowly got me through. I also learned in 2008, as much as I really appreciate financial security, my net worth and my self-worth were not the same. They have nothing to do with each other. It's not net worth and self-worth. They're not in the same equation. So just remember that as you're going through this, or you're helping support friends, remind them that your net worth and your self-worth are not intertwined. They shouldn't be. And sometimes we get them there. I know mine was in '08, but if you just keep that in mind, this will also relax you. And I knew through the toughest times, like years ago when Jamie and I were going through a big business transition, she said, do you realize that if we lost everything, we just move into the RV and we'd be happy and find a beach somewhere? So your family will still be there if you're good to them. I really believe that, and that's key.
Yeah, and I think too, one thing that you always say is that asking for help doesn't mean you're helpless. Mm-hmm. So just know we're here for you. If you ask for help, it doesn't mean you're helpless. It just means that we're all in different places on the same path. In addition to that, don't be afraid to ask, just like I had said, your closest people to you, your spouse, your children, those that love you.
Well, we call them our 3 a.m. friends. I'm actually, not to release, I'm writing a new book. Who are the people you could call at 3 a.m.? Who are they? And can you be that to those friends that need it? Who are your 3 a.m. people? You definitely want to do that. And remember this, one last thing. A guy told me this was really funny in 2008, because I almost went bankrupt. You know, all the banks closed up. They said, you didn't borrow the money from the mob. What are you going to do? They're not going to kill you. Are they going to kill you? So just remember those things. It was kind of a funny thing that always stuck with me. So definitely keep things in perspective. These can be hard times, but man, there's some opportunities for family here to remember what's important. So we're super excited for you guys.
And we're here. Ask for help. We're around.
Yeah, we can be your 3 a.m. friends when it comes to family. Yeah. Drop a note. KP and Gabe will keep you in touch with us. We're happy to do more. But again, choking on content, starving for execution. Carry through these 3 things that we just shared. Within 48 hours,
Tech distancing,
I guarantee.
Scheduling, and then what was the last one?
Reframe this entire situation, this entire opportunity. Reframe it, look at it differently, and I swear it will start to change very quickly.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning.
See you guys. We'll be in touch.